We are embarking on a journey down into the Ramon crater, the largest crater of its kind. It's magnificent. And Jonas, that's right in front of us, is going to guide us through the slippery rocks and the dangerous areas so we can reach our destination, the bottom of this crater. Jonas is a brilliant musician that has a unique story in which he traveled for 4 years, hitchhiking from Germany all the way to Turkey, Iran, eventually reaching his destination, Taiwan. And all he had was his backpack, a little bit of money, some food and water. Sometimes he would sleep on the side of the road. And in order to survive, he would play his music. He would play his oud and his guitar, and in that way, he would get some money and meet people. He was never alone because of his music. And Jonas is going to tell us all about his story, what it's like to be a wandering musician. For about 4 years,
Yes.
hitchhiking throughout it was mainly Europe, right? The area of
It
Europe.
was Europe, all the way to Taiwan in the end. Like
To
it crossed
Taiwan.
all
Wow.
through along the Silk Road, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The ancient Silk Road, like from Europe through Turkey and Iran, Pakistan, India, China, like all the way until I was at the Pacific Ocean. And I ended up in Taiwan.
So from Europe to Taiwan, to the
Mhm.
Pacific Ocean.
Yes.
Wow, that sounds incredible. And I was wondering, like, what kind of experiences you remember from that journey that you would like to share, maybe things that have to do with self-expression and your music. I'd love to hear it. Yeah.
It's a very big window of, I could tell many things.
Yeah.
But I can tell what I was doing, which was, I was busking, playing on the streets, doing all this time.
Mm-hmm.
Which, first of all, it's made me less worried about money because always in every country I had a way to earn a little bit, like, to just keep going, to buy some food and buy the next visa or something. I was living in a tent or couch surfing, so I didn't really have expenses for like hotels or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really low budget life. I had lots of great encounters on the road, like when I was playing, because besides the money aspect, besides the self-expression aspect, also it's a nice way to meet people, especially in countries where busking is not so common. They see you and they're like, "Wow, what is this guy doing here?" And he's playing, and let's talk to this one. And many times it was I made new friends, and I had a connection in the city where I was, and they would maybe host me or show me around. And yeah, it's really, really nice to, like, if I wouldn't have done this, I would maybe be more lost, in some new city. Like, you're alone, you arrive somewhere, you don't know anyone. It's a bit hard, but through playing music, I had friends all the time. And even, it's like a door, because even if I couldn't talk to those people, of course, not everybody speaks English, and I also don't speak every language of all these countries. But music somehow was the universal language, and I could communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
We played, and we understood. You do this thing. You do this chord, this lick, this rhythm. No need to talk. There was a really feeling of connection, and also there were a few times, or many times actually, when people. I can give you one example. I was playing in Nepal, in Pokhara, and suddenly this guy comes to me, a Nepali guy. He was like, "Man, I had a really bad day. I was so down. But then I saw you, and you really made my day." And that's it. Like, it's just happy to hear, like that it's not only entertainment. Like, music has more power than that. And yeah, I was living this on this wave kind of for years. So
Amazing.
it really made me believe in this stuff because I experienced it.
So the power. So what kind of power? When you're talking about music, what kind of other powers does it have?
I think it touches something in people that's like other mediums maybe don't reach that easily. It goes straight to the emotion, you know. And I think that's why I like music also that is without words. Oh, I also like music with words, but without words it seems like it's more of the pure emotion or more individual, because words are very defined, you know. It gives you a clear image. It's almost like, hey, that's how you're supposed to feel, because that's how I felt when I wrote these lyrics. But music, it gives a bit more space to their own interpretation, and it hits each person in a different way, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And it can release stuff, you know. It's like a massage to the heart. Like, hey, what is this? You know, you need some more here. Like, oh, it's quite tense. And that's it's great, and it's really healing, you know. Like I feel for myself when I listen to good music, it's like, yeah, I needed this, and only this could do it.
Mm. It gives you this sense of meditation.
Yeah.
And relaxation. Like it depends also what kind of music. Each music has a different feeling or affects different emotions.
Totally.
I think that is very interesting. And I think I'll ask you the very last question. The question is, if you, let's say, you didn't choose music, what would you have done?
Yeah, good question. I think I would, first of all, live a much more secluded life. I think really music is the one thing that brings me into crowds of people, or you know. Otherwise, I would be much more on my own. I would probably write books or something. That's really one thing I like to write.
What kind of books?
Good point. Like, yeah, maybe Hesse style. You know Hermann Hesse?
Hermann Hesse.
It's the guy who wrote Siddhartha. It's a German author.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or Paulo Coelho, this kind of direction of stories that carry some wisdom, you know, and very symbolic, that carry some understanding of the human soul, of humanity, of society. I'm also very much interested in sociology and spirituality and all this, so I guess something in this direction I would do. Yeah.
So thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Of course, thank you for allowing me to be interviewed by you.
I think it was very intriguing to find out, you know, the man behind the guitar, what he has to say, you know. And I'm looking forward to hearing more of your music and your art. Maybe your book. Maybe one day you'll write a book.
Who knows?
It will be interesting. And do you have any other thing that you would like to share? Anything else that you would like maybe to tell me, tell the world? I don't know. Is there anything or not? You can also.
Wow, that's that's not easy.
I'm trying to make it as hard as possible, you know.
I see that. I think what I'm occupied by in the recent months is, of course, here in Israel, we're at war. And I'm not the person that wants to take sides or that wants to tell what is right and what is wrong. But as someone that knows human beings from both sides, I really think it's important to remember that there is not like the one group that is bad and the one group that is good. It's people that, you know, want to just live a normal life, like whatever they're born as, be it like whatever religion they have, you know, it doesn't really matter. And it's very easy to fall into this mindset of like those guys over there that I actually don't know any single one of them. They're the bad guys, and pointing fingers and blaming. And I think it's important to, if there's a chance to meet those people, to get in touch somehow, or at least not to be blinded by, you know, by propaganda, because it's very strong these days, and it's very sad to see that we forget this understanding that they're human beings and they have, you know, motives to do stuff they do, and they have, yeah, they're really similar to us, maybe. Like, you know, in the essential points, they have the same wishes. They want to live a safe life, be surrounded by people they love, and do self-expression stuff. I think, you know, we should remember this, that we're all humans.
Yeah, you're talking about, obviously, the Israelis and the Palestinians, yeah.
Also, but I've seen it in other countries. I was in Armenia when there was war with Azerbaijan. It's the same thing.
Wow.
I was in Myanmar, like there's civil war since, I don't know, 70, 80 years. India, Pakistan, the same thing. Like, I've seen it so many times, you know. It's not unique in this sense here. It's just that it's really popular in the world.
Yeah, also you have Ukraine and Russia,
Also
and you
this,
have
yeah.
so many places that are very similar conflicts. And yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so could say maybe your final wish and my wish too is that I hope that one day we can just all live in peace and just see each other as just normal human beings. Because people eventually, you know, all we want to do is just live a peaceful life.
In the end, we want the same thing, you know. That's the ironic point.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.
And have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, you too, Doran.
when I say self-expression, what does it mean to you?
Wow, yeah. I think it's like a very thin line or a balance between me as an individual, that's me, that's Jonas, I do this and this stuff. Of course, that's part of self-expression, and it can be through music or through anything really, but I chose music or music chose me. But recently I think more and more about the other element, which is not about myself as an individual, but about being part of a whole. And the way the whole expresses itself is also through me, you know. I don't want, like, you know, you can call it universe or God or whatever. Doesn't really matter, but, you know, the whole thing. And I'm part of it. And by being natural and by being true to myself and by being who I am or how this whole thing, this universe made me, that's part of my self-expression, you know, and also part of how this whole thing expresses itself. So it's really, it sounds paradox, like to be myself, but at the same time it's not about me. But I think that's how I feel it for now.
That is really beautiful. I think self-expression is you, but it's not really you. It's part of the whole this universe, this place.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. This nature here, like the sand in front of me or this rock, it's not doing anything specifically, like not having an agenda, just being. And in that sense, it's expressing itself. Hey, I'm the rock, you know. I don't have to prove that I'm the rock. I'm just the rock, you know. And ideally, that's what we do too. And again, it's like I play music because I love it, and it's, you know, maybe comes natural to me. But it's not better or more self-expressing than a job in the office. If that's what this person that does it feels is true to him or herself, you know. It's not about what you do, it's about how you are in this situation or in this act of doing, and about your mindset and about, yeah, just being natural, I guess. That's how I would describe it.
So you can say just being your natural self.
Yeah, I think that's self-expression. Because anything else, if you do something that is not natural to you or that doesn't really reflect who you are, you're not expressing yourself. You're expressing an idea that, you know, doesn't match you really.
That you think you are, yeah.
So it's not self-expression, it's I don't know, expressing something else that I want to be or that I think I have to be.
It's interesting. So why for you what comes so natural is music?
That's a good question. I don't know. And, you know, I guess, I mean, I grew up in a musical environment, like my family or like friends of my mom were musicians, and one of them gifted me a guitar when I was 6 years old. So suddenly there was this guitar in the house, you know. And I also went to concerts many times with her, and so, like maybe I was closer to music than other people in my age. So let's say the circumstances of my childhood brought me close to music. That's one way to see it, and I don't know. Now there's this fly on my face that really wants to sit there. Okay. Anyway, yeah, just the circumstances of my childhood brought me close to music, and maybe I was lucky. And I don't know, maybe it's the question of like the chicken and the egg, you know? What was first? Was it first the circumstances of me having a guitar, or even better, of having my mother that has musician friends that brought me close to music? Or was it my predisposition for music that made me being born in an environment that is close to musicians? Like, you know, you can interpret it in many ways.
Yeah.
But the fact is that there was a guitar in my house when I was 6 years old. So
you were just born into it.
yeah, let's say like this. And then it was there, and of course, you know, I play it because it's there.
And one of the things I always wonder, how hard is it to be a musician? Specifically, you're a guitar player, but I know you're also a composer. You also have various different genres in which you participate in. So I wonder how hard is it to be a musician?
You know, I think it depends on the aspect that you're interested in. If you talk about money or something, that's maybe the first thing that comes to many people's minds. Oh no, you will not make money when you're a musician, or you will this and this. I guess it's harder to make money as a musician as if compared to, I don't know, a regular income job. And you need to have a, what's the name? Like motivation by yourself. Nobody is telling you to do this, you know? And you don't have, like, there is no employee that says, hey, be here at 8 a.m. or something. It's all on you. Not only the creative aspect, but like the driving force is yourself and in yourself. And sometimes it's hard to, I don't know. You're not always motivated to play and to practice, you know? And yeah, you need to push yourself a lot and also be persistent, because it's one of those things, like music is one of those things that you plant a seed and you water it for a very long time until you see something growing, and even more time until you can harvest the fruits, you know?
Yeah.
And to have this belief that there will be this fruit at some point, I think that's important to have. And yeah, to believe in it, that it's, you know, rewarding. But at the same time, it's a trap, because if you do it only for the outcome that comes after 20 years or something, it's kind of missing the point as well. So another element of being a musician or artist or, you know, whatever, is that it doesn't really matter about the outcome. It matters what you do. If you do what you love, the outcome is like a side effect or a bonus. Yeah. If you just like watering these plants, it's, you know, that's what you do and you really enjoy it. And if there are some nice apple in the end, like, that's great. But if not, anyway, you did what you love. And I think also there is this balance between both. But, I need to remind myself also many times that I just do it because I enjoy it. And we're moving forward fast, you know? Like, how are you doing? Yeah, how are you doing?